Hey guys, welcome to Barry and Babes Bintano. I'm your host, Vali Chikuni. We begin. HillSong. Brian Houston is the founder of HillSong. He resigned. He's dealing with his legal affairs. But this time around, with everything that's going on in HillSong, he has um, written a letter to his people, to his church, to his former church, pretty much apologizing of the pain that he has caused and everything else that's going on right now with Hillsong. According to him, he's found himself in this situation because he had to cope dealing with the situation of his father who abused a young child, and he's fighting right now. He was accused of covering it up, but he denies. But obviously, the case is going to be in court, so he has been stressed, according to him. So because of these things, it made him start drinking and pretty much doing all these other things that he's been doing. He apologized to his wife Bobby for causing all this pain, but he assured all his supporters, all his followers, that this is not the end of Brian Houston. This is just pretty much the beginning. Their good days are ahead of them. So the yet is yet to come. So he appreciates all those people who are sending good wishes, wishing him well, and all the kind of good stuff. But according to Hillsong, some of the pastors have now come out and said that Brian Houston knew what was going on with Carl Lindsay. Carl Lindsay was a senior pastor of Hillsong in New York, and he was in charge of the East Coast Hillsong churches. He's famously known as Justin Bieber's pastor. And obviously, he lost his job. Brian Houston had to fire him because he was pretty much having an affair, misusing of funds, all that kind of stuff. And despite people complaining about Carl Lindsay when he was still with Hillsong, Brian didn't do anything about it. But I guess, things went too much. That's why he acted. Now he's gone. And then to come to find out that also Brian Houston was also doing similar things. So that's exactly what's going on with Hillsong. Yemen, I mean, it is sad, to be honest with you, because I actually did had an interaction with one of the members who used to go there, pretty much just say like, oh, you know what, whatever people are doing, it's not loving and everything else. I just hope that those people are going to find themselves in good, solid churches. But we move on. We do have TGC, the Gospel Coalition. Ron McDonald is a author with TGC. He's pretty much in lockstep with Disney, and he ended up using the word whisper. According to if you know that's not the word that you have to be using, okay? Ryan McDonald pretty much is saying that the movie Encanto whispers about Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've heard about this term, it was pretty much coined by Tim Keller, adapted by J.D. Greer, and made famous by Ed Litton. Pretty much they were saying that God whispers when it comes to sexual sins. That's what they say. So now TGC author, he's saying that in the movie Encanto whispers about Jesus, and this is a Disney movie. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie has got nothing to do with Jesus. Don't be fooled by what this author is saying, let alone the so-called is whispering about Jesus. So that's not a word that you have to be using. But hey, man, this is exactly what is going on. There's now nothing good about this issue. We already know that the executives, there's a video that was leaked. This executive in TGC, they are pretty much planning on to have 50% of their characters to be gay or minorities. So they are definitely out there and about to pretty much groom all our children out. So Disney is not to be trifled with in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form. But not to be outdone, the SBC had to join in with Disney. We do have what's his name? Jonathan Howie. He's a pastor. He's with Christian Baptist University. Jonathan Howie. So all those people who are going to Anaheim, come California in June, the Disney is offering discounts. So you have the SBC over here pretty much partnering in with Disneyland out in California, so that when the parents are out there doing your voting, you can have your activities. They want you to be able to participate, to go in and indulge yourself with your children Disneyland. At Disneyland. However, what is very interesting, in 1997, the SBC was pretty much asking parents to boycott Disney because Disney was offering healthcare to their gay employees, and this did not sit well with the SBC. But now in 2022, SBC is home and dry, supporting parents, encouraging parents that they will have lots of activities to be doing in California when they go to Anaheim and partake on the discounts. But yeah, we do know that we do have a good arm of the SBC, and this is the Conservative Baptist Network, which is also part of the SBC. It's pretty much saying like, no, ladies and gentlemen, just go to Anaheim and vote, okay? Vote and change the direction. Don't let Disney distract you in any way, shape, or form. So, the Conservative Baptist Network are saying, you guys, you need to boycott Disney, and then you have the California Baptist University. They want you to be in lockstep with Disney while you're out there in California. So hey man, you guys make your own informed decision. But that's exactly what is going on, the showdown in the SBC. I know. Moving on. Where are we? Moving on while we're still on the SBC. We do have this is what North American Mission Board. Okay. Willy Rice is a first vice president of North American Mission Board, and he's also running as an for SBC president. So in 2019, he was made aware that one of his staff member threatened a reporter who is also a sex abuse survivor, who was going to report on Kevin Ezo, who is the chairman of National North American Mission Board, that he did not handle sexual abuse at his previous church. But Kevin Ezo said that he was just going to plead he was going to claim the clergy penitent privilege. That way he wasn't going to be able to testify in court. But this issue came out, so much so that there is what's his name, Mike Albert, who is a PR director of National American Mission Board, North American Mission Board, threatened a reporter that don't do this. If you do this, you actually send a text messages. And obviously you cannot threaten a reporter if there is a story that is going on. So this happened in 2019. So now, because Willy Rice knew about this thing that was going on. Okay, this is the drama inside the SBC. Just bear with me. So because Willy Rice knew what was going on, now we have Grant Gaines. Grant Gaines is the same guy who pretty much costed Mike Stone presidents last year by going to the microphone with Hannah Kate. So this time around, Grant Gaines is saying that Willy Rice should step down. He shouldn't run as an SBC president. So this is so fun. But ladies and gentlemen, SBC, here we come. So now they are calling for Willy Rice that he needs to step down. He shouldn't continue as an SBC president. But well, you know, it doesn't get interesting like this. So things are just getting interesting. So now they're calling for Willy Rice to step down. But so far, I don't see why Willy Rice is going to step down, because Ed Litton pretty much endorsed Willy Rice, I think he's pretty much handpicked by Eddie Layton, who is the current SBC. So if that was not all, while we are still on SBC, we have JD Ho. So JD Ho has pretty much come out and apologized to Tom Asko. JD Ho has apologized to Tom Asko publicly, which is a good thing that he has done, because right now Tom Asko is running for SBC, and JD Ho had promised that he was going to sponsor 1,000 messengers. He was going to give 1,000 messengers to Tom back if he runs for SBC president, or if Vode Bokam runs as SBC president. But obviously we know Tom back is not running, but Tom Asko is the one who's running. He's running as SBC president, and Vode Bokam is going to run as the pastors conference inside the SBC. So which is obviously, this is a good news. Like, okay, hey man, if somebody wants to run as SBC president, and Tom Asko is pretty much, he is actually good. He is a good candidate. So I think this is a good thing that what's his name is trying to do right now, JD Ho, by pretty much, hey man, he's going to give adding to add to giving his the messengers that he's going to mobilize. So he apologized. He actually did a program to pretty much tell the whole world that he has apologized. So Jordan Ho is saying over here, I apologize to Tom Asko for that which I have said on Twitter, which in times impugns his motives or ascribes to him naivety or cowardice instead of charitable or Christian diplomacy. Forgive me. So if you know anything about JD Ho, if he has issued this public apology, I think this is a good thing. And Tom Asko has accepted this apology. So Tom Asko has accepted this apology, which is definitely a good thing. And JD Ho was still asked if he was going to continue to give, if he was going to still honor what he said, that he was going to pretty much give the 1,000 messengers. So according to him, he says like, yeah, man, the offer is still on the table. The author is still on the table that he's going to. He said yes. He said yes that he's going to. He said yes that he's going to. So he said yes that he's going to mobilize 1,000 messengers who are going to vote for Tom Asko and Vode Bokam. So the SBC come June, this has just gotten interesting. So hey man, so if you guys are ready, go out there and be sure to vote. Hashtag change the direction. That's a slogan that Tom Asko is running for the SBC. Then we do have Pastor John Macarthur. Pastor John Macarthur had an interview with during the Shepherds Conference. He had an interview with Justin Peters, where he was, it was actually a very good interview. I'm going to link it. If you guys haven't watched it, I think it'll be good for you guys. Be sure to check it out. It's a very good interview that he did. And Justin, he did ask him good questions. He did ask him good questions. I thought it was very interesting. He said he does not respond to his critics, which obviously, if you know anything about John Macarthur, he definitely does not respond to critics. So I know Julie Royce has been asking over there if John Macarthur is going to respond. So no, John Macarthur won't be responding to anything. Which I think whatever you guys think about it, he won't be responding to anything, which is good. So, and he also shared pretty much, he said when he first started going to Grace Community Church, they were not doing church discipline. Apparently, back in the day, it wasn't so known people to be practicing church discipline. And he introduced church discipline at his church. And he was told that this is going to make people leave the church. Instead of people leaving the church ended up, people started joining the church. And he conducted for 8 years Bible studies every Saturday, pretty much to be equipping his leadership, the men in the church, just teaching them, biblical principles, biblical Bible values, things of that nature. So clearly, after, I'm sure that 8 years at church, they've always practiced church discipline, which is a good thing, that a church should be practicing church discipline if people know what it is. But obviously, we know how things has turned out to be. Anytime you talk about the so-called church discipline, now it's called church abuse. No, it's not church abuse. Church discipline is the biblical precedence. So a church is supposed to be practicing church discipline. If the church is not practicing church discipline, they are being disobedient of what a church is supposed to be. Moving on, what do we have next? We have Raso Mo, Dr. Raso Mo. I need to share the screen. So let me, I need to share the screen. Raso Mo was at, why does this? Raso Mo was at Union Seminary. This seminary is a seminary where, what's his name? James Cone, the father of, let's just watch this. Do this. Oh, it's not sharing. Share screen. Share screen. How could I? Okay, we're gonna share the screen. Share the screen. I'm gonna rewind it. That way.
Right, our neighbor
Okay.
said democracy is approximate
So
solution to
let's
insoluble
listen in.
problem.
This is
I think he's right about that.
Dr. Raso Mo.
Where he's wrong is to reduce it to a problem. I can't wait to see what Brother John's got to say about this, but it's not just a problem. We're talking about catastrophe. You see, it's never been a race problem. It's a catastrophe visited on indigenous peoples and black peoples and brown people. Never been a woman's problem. Catastrophe visited on. So already to reduce it to a problem is a deodorized move. And the real funk of it is, the truth of it is, it's a catastrophe. See, that's why you don't have problems in Augustine's Confessions. You have catastrophes. Calvin's not dealing with problems, he's dealing with catastrophes. Bishop Tutu didn't have the problem of apartheid, it was a catastrophe. Martin King didn't have the problem of race, it was a catastrophe visited on God's children. Same is true with homophobia with our precious gays and lesbians and others. So once we understand it as catastrophe, then we get out of a managerial mentality, like we're coming in with all of our secular tools and gonna solve the problem. No, that's a plumber. We're talking about something different. We're talking about years and years and hundreds of years of lies about these precious children of God and so forth. So then the question is, how do you muster the creativity, the fortitude, the courage, the vision, the willingness to bear risk, cost of discipleship, confront that catastrophe and curtail its worst?
All right. So that is Dr. Raso Mo pretty much being lectured by Dr. Cornel West. Catastrophe. It is a sin issue. And as you can see, hey, I feel sorry for Dr. Moy. He was just sitting there and nodding. What else could he have said? But the question is, what was he doing there in the first place at the Union Seminary? The workers of them all. This is where you have like what's his name? The father of Black liberation theology, James Cone. James Cone. That's where this is where the wokeness. This is where exactly it pretty much. That's what they teach over there from Black liberation theology. So I don't understand why Raso Mo find himself there. But hey, if you know anything about Dr. Raso Mo, it shouldn't be surprising. And then Megan Basham, she's a reporter with the Daily Wire. She has compiled it's on YouTube. I'm just gonna leave a link here. You guys, you should be able to link it. So she has pretty much linked the so-called Big Eva. These are the people who were pretty much influential in promoting the misinformation about promoting churches should be closed, promoting the mask, all these issues to be doing with the COVID in connection with Francis Collins. So you do have Raso Mo, you have Tim Keller, you have N.T. Wright, you have Ed Seltzer, you have David French, you had TGC, you had Christianity Today. Okay, I don't think I've left anybody. So these are the people who were in lockstep with Francis Collins, and he pretty much visited. He had a program with all of these guys just to be like, oh, you know what? The churches that remain open, they say like the pastors who are opening their churches, they're simply opening their churches because they had a big ego, according to Rick Warren. They says like, no, I'm not going to risk my congregation to be opening the churches. Some of these pastors are just opening their churches because they have a big ego. Well, that was just a shade being thrown at John Macarthur. Okay, he said like, yes, wearing a mask, it means loving your neighbor. We cannot even go there if wearing a mask is loving your neighbor. And yet this Francis Collins is at the center with Fauci, with the stem cell riches, doing unethical things that are just ridiculous, And Francis Collins is pretty much a darling of evangelicals in lockstep with Raso Mo. So Megan Basham has done a good job just compiling these things. So you guys, you should be able to watch it so you are aware of what this Big Eva they've been doing all this time. Okay. So lastly, we need to end on good news. It's been a minute since we ended everything with good news, but we do have good news today. In Finland, a court in Finland has pretty much an LGBTQ plus activist decided to sue a Lutheran priest to court because they were pretty much preaching on biblical values. When it comes to Romans 1, they are preaching against the LGBTQ agenda because we already know it's antithetical to biblical principles and biblical values. And this person decided to sue that was a hate speech. And the court in Helsinki, in Finland, pretty much throw the case out. They says like that's the court. It says the court's job is not to be interpreting biblical concepts. So that's good news. I wish Canada could take a page with what's going on in Finland. So that's good, but who knows how long that's going to last. But I do think that's a good news that a court in Finland today did not entertain these LGBTQ activists. Pretty much be like, no, that's none of our business. We're just going to leave that up to the church. They can preach whatever they're preaching, and it's not a hate speech. But we already know Canada has the so-called Bill C4. So that falls under hate speech. So while this is good news, we celebrate it, but we're going to celebrate while we can, right? We know what exactly is coming. Yep, ladies and gentlemen. So that's all I had for you guys today, but be sure to tune in on Thursday. I'm going to have 3 beautiful sisters in the Lord. We're going to be talking about singleness, marriage, and we're going to touch a little bit about divorce. So tune in on Thursday right here. We'll be talking about marriage. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. And also, there is a book that's, if you guys want to join in to be part of a book club, book review that Jason Whitaker is doing of Dear War Christian. It's a book by Willy Rice. It's called Redeeming Feminine Soul, something like that. I actually forgot the title, but I think that's what it's called, Redeeming the Feminine Soul, something to that effect. So it's very interesting. I encourage you guys to join if you're able to. Like the stuff that this lady has written, ooh, you cannot even believe it. It's just like, oh, okay. But she's out here restoring the church. But she's writing weird stuff. Let's just be honest about it, weird stuff. So more coming this week. Stay tuned. Remember to subscribe. Follow me on social media. I'm very active on Twitter, so be sure to check me out on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, remember to be in the know.